activities. Let's take a look at lab activity number 10, which, going from the manual, and excuse the confusion, I didn't write this, is lab 11. Okay, and it's on vitamins and minerals, which we really completed the vitamin section just the other day. And I think you're probably getting a good feel that vitamins function as coenzymes. I keep reinforcing that. So they're part of an enzyme complex, but each of them will have special activities, which makes them interesting. Like vitamin A is involved in the visual cycle, at least the retinal form, the AL, the aldehyde form, and that is important so that you can see. And one of the first symptoms is night blindness. Vitamin B complex as a whole is involved in releasing energy from food. Okay, so the citric acid cycle, the Krebs cycle, and production of ATP at a cellular level. That is why B vitamins as a whole are often offered as a stress vitamin or something to give you energy. Right? Vitamin C, our big super antioxidant to prevent against oxidative damage when you're free radical oxygen species, and as are vitamins A, C, and E, and the mineral selenium. Vitamin D, strongly associated with bone density, increasing calcium and phosphorus deposits in your bones and teeth. However, also very important in mental health as far as preventing dementia, cardiovascular health, keeping the pipes clear, and also as a base molecule for sex hormones, what makes you little boys and girls, hopefully older than that. All right, so vitamins, this is your assignment. Define the following. What's the difference between a pro-oxidant and an antioxidant? We've talked about antioxidants, vitamins A, C, and E. But what's the bad guy? What's the pro-oxidant in this equation? Hint, hint, we have several pro-oxidants that are pollutant generated in the environment. We have people that may be smoking, that can be a pro-oxidant, things like that. And even, and this might surprise you, your breakdown of food and your exercise, okay, is going to produce pro-oxidants. Should you not exercise, should you not eat? You have to, okay? But we need the antioxidants like a big sponge to kind of mop them up, the mess that we make. Two, vitamin C and antioxidant, well, you'll go through that, and you can read through the lab to see what they're talking about. Name two other uses for vitamin C. Very good. That's a good question. Habit and lifestyle to cause the level of pro-oxidants to be elevated. Hint, hint, could be smoking, could be other nasty habits. Okay, and you read on minerals, and we now know that minerals are not just inert, non-carbon containing, non-organic elements. They also play a structural role, but they act as cofactors in actions throughout the body. So also about the movement of water, what happens to blood volume, blood pressure, electrical messages, hint, hint, electrolytes, what type of ions. This is a good question. This was a new one added by the latest edition. Why medicines, what we would consider antioxidants like Tums or Olates, contain bicarb. What are we doing with that? What's the goal? Why your blood might contain bicarbonate. Choose a mineral. That was not in Lab 11. A unique fact. And then there are two videos, nice and easy YouTubes. The first about vitamin C being an electron donor. Actually, electron recipient is another deal. Oh, no, okay. I'm sorry. In this case, C as an antioxidant donating electrons to indophenol compound we might meet in the lab. And watch the following about buffers. What are buffers? They're something that reduce the big swings in the pH in the body. Okay, one of the big ones is bicarbonate, but we have many others. Right, so that's that. Let me back out. Do this without killing everything. Let's see. Get that. Okay, oh, I'm right out. Okay, so I'm going to go back and let us find the lab. And then we'll have our review. We'll call it an early day. Oh, I do want to go over, I'm sorry, the food diet diary. And this is what your food diet diary should look like when you open the page. And then you can type in the food. If you had 2 apples, don't forget to multiply everything by 2. on this horizontal line. And then when you come down to the bottom, and what we're looking at is energy in the form of kilocalories, protein, carbs, and fats, including fiber. Your fats are highlighted in yellow, as if that really means something. But okay,
Professor,
words.
I have a question. How could you find that? Like, for example, if you eat a sandwich, how can you find that in the sandwich?
Yeah, if the sandwich isn't listed as a whole, I would break it apart into its component parts. So it might be, a quarter pound of turkey, X amount of cheese, a eighth of a pound, the bread, the lettuce, the tomato, etc., stuff like that.
So how would you separate it from energy, protein? You would look at
the amount of turkey, the amount of cheese, the amount of bread, etc.
But how can you weigh that out? Because
you don't really. Well, you can make an assumption, unless it's a really thick sandwich. They usually use about a quarter pound of turkey, an eighth a pound of cheese, the extras. Okay, they're really not going to give you a pound of meat on a sandwich. It's just
so. For example, for you with Swiss cheese, and it has 5 grams of energy,
right,
2 grams of protein, something like that.
Right. That's fine. You could run that right across the board. If you had a lot, it's usually per slice of cheese. It should say how much.
What if it's like cold cut delis from a paper?
Right. Okay,
it doesn't say.
Right. You should be able to find that, online on a resource. Just look for caloric value and nutrient value for cheese, and it should list it by weight and per slice, because that's the way it's usually served.
Okay, thank you. And do we email this to you, or is
yes? So this whole thing gets packaged up in an Excel file and just email it.
And when is it due?
Let me give you 2 or 3 weeks. Give you some time on that.
Okay, thank you. And this is only for the day?
Only for one day, which is nice. However, in real-world situations with a nutritionist, you'd probably do either a week or a month even, because you're going to have big fluctuations. But we're doing it for day, just A, to spare you the time, but B, to show you it's pretty labor-intensive. It's really not that easy. And I think we're putting in all of our totals at this bottom line where it says total. And then the RDA, recommended amount per day, recommended dietary allowance, would be here. And then we're forming a fraction, total over the RDA, and that'll give you a percentage. Okay. So if you had 60 milligrams of vitamin C in total, and the RDA was 60 over 60 is 1, multiplied by 100, you get 100%. It's elementary math. All right. Now that's the food diet diary, and good luck with that. Let me come back to our Lab 11. You guys did not get, I don't think you got litmus paper in your lab kits, did you? I don't think so. So I really can't ask you to test the pH with litmus paper and a color guide. So we're going to probably skip that. Let me just open this up. Oh, one other thing. Edie, I think you had asked about the review sheet for the vitamins and minerals. And I think you had said there was a couple of blanks at the end. I'm trying to find those. I'm looking at the Excel, which doesn't show that. But if you find that, you can hold it up or let me know. I'll take a look and see what you got.
Thanks. Well, you had told me that the question that I asked about specifically, that you just said, "Oh, don't worry about that."
Yes, right, exactly.
But the stuff right underneath it, I didn't know if we were supposed to match that up. I have no problem matching that up on my own. I just didn't know if that's what we were supposed to do.
You know what it was? For whatever reason, it made a second page, and you'd have to line it up to the right. And that fourth column was the notes on the particular compounds, and this is in an Excel spreadsheet, it's a little bit better. Vitamin B3 is niacin, is the chemical name. The deficiency disease is pellagra. And then the notes are, it causes the 4 Ds. It starts with diarrhea, then dementia, skin irritations, and then dementia, not very pleasant either. And then finally the big D, death. Okay, so, again, we rarely see true pellagra in this country, maybe in Appalachian parts and people that are really malnourished. smokers, perhaps alcoholics, things like that. But you wouldn't find it too much in the U.S.
Okay.
Nonetheless, very important.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, so I mean, what you just showed, like you scroll down right now, and I assume we're at the top right now. So basically, you showed the whole thing as you had intended it to be presented, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Right.
thanks.
So
So
you can
that's no
take that
problem.
second page and line it up, and yeah. And I apologize for Word not putting the lines back in.
Oh no, it's happened to me before too. I definitely
Okay.
understand. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Making me feel better. Not at all.
Yeah, well,
All
of
right,
course.
so let's take a look at our lab manual. So out of Lab 10, which was the anthropometric measurements, the stuff I really want you to know is, this is on page 10-13 in the pink book. And this is subjective. There's a little bit of variability on this. But what are optimal body fats, optimal ranges for men and women based on the skin folds? So there's a little bit of variability. And this is in a healthy 20-some-odd-year-old in the peak of life, aren't we all? So men, it should be between 12 and 21%. That's the magic number. 12 and 21% as optimal body fat. I can tell you, there's a lot of guys walking around 30, 40, 50% body fat, okay, which is not healthy, okay? Then again, there are guys walking around for various reasons that are in single digits, 5 to 10% body fat, and they're not healthy either. Maybe they are anorexic, maybe they are bulimic, maybe they just don't eat well, a failure to thrive type thing. But anyway, there's optimum range about 12 to 21%. And I think if any of you looked at someone that was in that range of 10 to 20%, you would say that person is very lean. They're muscular, they're thin, you can see striations in the muscle, et cetera, et cetera. Not that is always a goal. And then, it's funny, we contrast this with different sports. Take, for example, an Olympic caliber shot putter or discus thrower or hammer thrower. They might be very bulky. They might be carrying 20%, 25% body fat. That person's out of shape. Well, visually, yes, but they are also looking at generating power. To look like a bodybuilder is not the goal. Okay. And if you didn't know it, the people that they put on the cover of Men's Health, and let me give you some Hollywood examples. Hugh Jackman, when he was doing the superhero movies, they look like that for 2 or 3 days of shooting, and then they, kind of puff up a little bit. It's hard to retain that leanness. Okay, so it's not a completely healthy situation. Don't strive to do that all the time. For ladies, we get a little bit of a margin, 15 to 26% optimal body fat. And why is it higher if this is optimal? And the answer is it's hormonal. Okay, with higher levels of estrogen, we're going to retain a little bit more body fat. Absolutely normal, absolutely healthy. I think I told the story, and it's a fun one. I had a mother and daughter come in, daughter 19, mother 41. You can do the math. And mom, who exercised avidly and ate well, and the daughter, a classic diet of McDonald's and other fast foods, and didn't exercise as much. Mom was leaner. She had a lower body fat range. So extremely frustrating to the young lady, but hey, that's life. If you work hard, you get the payola. Okay, so we had discussed this, and it would be really fun if we were in person to do the BIA, the Bioimpedance Analyzer, which is a handheld device from the Omron company in Japan, quite accurate within 2 to 3% body fat, and you can read through the instructions. And you can buy these for under $50 online. And this is a much better assessment of how your diet and your exercise plan is going versus the scale. Don't trust the scale. And I say that because I have a 200-pound individual come in, and that individual wants to lose body fat and become in better shape and blah, blah, blah. And in the first week, following a good corrective diet and exercise, perhaps they lose 3 pounds, I'll be generous, of body fat, which can be tough. But they gain 3 pounds of muscle from the exercise. The scale reads zero. No net change. They become discouraged. They start back to the Doritos and the high-fat foods. And the answer is no. You were 6 pounds metabolically healthier. You had 3 pounds lower body fat, and you had 3 pounds more muscle mass, lean body mass. That's great. That's awesome. That's about as good as you can hope for. So we have to use tools like the BIA, the Bioimpedance Analyzer. And they show you how to use it with the chart, which was good. The people that made this lab up, and then you would record your body fat. And then, great question, does this value agree with the values obtained using calipers? Well, probably hell no. And the reason why is you probably had some measure of error with the calipers. I have had classes where people were very good with that, and they came up with a similar, bully, but it's not really that important. All right, Lab 10 summary anthropometric analysis. Why is the measurement of body fat a poor indicator? Oh, sorry. It helps if I read. Why is the measurement of body weight, that is the correct word, a poor indicator of disease risk? What would you say? Anybody? Bueller? Chris Miller knows. The reason why is because your body fat is just a number, okay? It's a spot in time, okay? Where you are going in your health journey is really the most important part. Are you getting leaner? Are you exercising harder? These are all factors that really matter a lot more than just a static number taken once in time, There was a great piece on the Discovery Channel about a triathlete. So he ran a marathon, rode the bike, did the swim and all that. And he was a big dude. He was like 6'2", and he weighed 300 pounds, say. So they cornered him and questioned him later and said, if you lost your body weight, you got down to a competitive, 180, you'd do so much better. And the guy said, leave me alone. He goes, my cardiologist loves me. In other words, his numbers are all in line. He was happy. I think that's the main thing to derive out of this. We can always strive to do better, but it's important to be satisfied where you are and what you're doing and to just work towards better goals. So, number 2, although BMI, body mass index, is a better indicator of risk, what is the floor of that measurement? Great question. These are hard-hitting, tough questions. And the answer is, it's just an index, okay? It's a comparison of height to weight. It does not take into account higher muscle mass, okay, pregnancy, other issues, life stages that would really throw a monkey wrench in that. So, yes, for the mass public, okay, it's a number, 18 to 25. Remember that. Percent body fat is a valuable indicator of risk, but accurate measurement of this value is difficult. I completely agree. What factors could make this value obtained using the calipers inaccurate? Pinch and inch. You might.
Professor, you're going a little bit too fast for me. Is it possible to slow down? I'm sorry.
Right. Either write faster or I'll talk slower.
I'll try my best.
I'll talk slower. You got it. And so percent body fat is a valuable indicator, but accurate measurement, therein lies the problem. So what factors could make the values? Let me see if we I don't see where you are. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. I'm on page 10-16, the final questions of Lab 10. What factors could make the values obtained using the calipers inaccurate? That would be inappropriate measurement. You got it. And people with the calipers, and this goes back to the Jack LaLanne days, where they would get the person in a cubicle and measure them up and you're way out of shape, to sell memberships. That should not be what it's about. Body fat analyzer, like the handheld BIA, that's a good one. Okay, and far more accurate. You do not need DEXA, which would be from a lab like Lenox Hill or Zwanger. It's accurate. It's the most accurate. It's not worth getting a $250 test when you could do it with this little $50 handheld and repeat it day after day. All right, good. I'm going to stroll out and get back into 11, and then we'll do our review. 11 today, the lab. I'm just going to do an overview. I'm not going to beat it to death. So I can find 11. That's the hard part. Here it is. Odds Botkins. that's lab activity. I don't want that. I want the labs. Lab manual, that's 10. That won't work. I will find it. Emma, you keep writing.
I thought we were doing the review. Sorry.
That's right, and we are. But that is not part of the review.
Okay, cool.
The review is coming.
So you're good.
I'm good. See, I told you. Okay. This is the exercise. This is still the... No, that's the lab review. All right. Oh, here we are. No problemo. I know where I have to go. Hold on. Wait, this is not allowing me. That's right. Okay, that's better. Screw it. I'll go back in. Anybody have any special plans? Anybody going away or anything fun like that? Or Easter Passover? No. Most people stick around for this holiday. Okay, so now we're back to the lab manual. Let's look at 11. All right, and here we are. So we do a new share. Oop, not that one. That's better. I think this will do it. Let's see. Yep, this is it. Okay, can everybody see exercise 11, vitamins and minerals? I hope. I'll take that as a yes. Good. Okay. So, again, the focus here is, I think when you signed up for the course, you probably said, vitamins and minerals are magic. I'm overweight, I'm sick, I have a dreaded disease, I'll just take a vitamin. And it's not that simple, is it? Where we're seeing that the vitamins are coenzymes, part of an enzyme complex that may or may not, hopefully they do, release energy from food. They can have special activities like vitamin A involved in the visual cycle, your ability to see, vitamin D involved in bone density and cardiovascular function. Minerals could be, conductors of current, electrolytes. They might be structural in the bones and teeth, etc. So there's a lot. All right, so let's look at our introduction, the organic molecules known as vitamins, and then the pure elements. Remember that these are not compounds, your minerals. They are purely elemental, right out of the periodic table. Known as minerals, differ greatly in their structure and functions within the human body. They can be classified together, however, as micronutrients. Okay, so micro meaning small, muy pequito. They are the little guys. Okay, and yet little by weight and by size, but with a potent punch. Nutrients necessary to maintain health in the body in small to minute, not minute amounts. Vitamins and minerals are not converted into energy because they carry no caloric value, but some of them are necessary for the conversion. That's the key. Coenzymes, cofactors of the macros. What are the macros? Protein, carbs, and fats to energy, ATP. Others are used structurally, and many are involved in the regulation of metabolism, kind of keeping the ship floating. And we do see people that are vitamin deprived. We have those nutritional deficiency syndromes. Most likely, you're able to name some of the functions of vitamins and minerals in your body. For example, fill in the following. Vitamin blank is necessary for proper vision. What is that? What are they referring to? Anybody? Bueller? It is vitamin A, right? Okay. So vitamin A, but particularly a form, that is retinal, AL, the aldehyde form, will give rise to rhodopsin. Okay, so opsin is the protein base, all right, and the retinol is the coenzyme that fits into the opsin and forms rhodopsin. And without that, you can't see too well. And you begin to lose vision. Interesting, curiously enough, you lose vision at night. Okay, that's the first to go. Vitamin blank and blank, hint, one's a vitamin, one's a mineral. Both found in milk, hint, hint, helps build strong bones. Sounds like a dairy commercial.
Calcium.
Which one's it, though? Calcium. Thank you so much. That is correct, sir. Calcium. And what is the vitamin?
D.
D, correct. Very good. See, you guys are going to ace this. So what happens is, no matter how much calcium you eat, you consume, we need D as the coenzyme to help absorb and regulate the blood level. Right? So this is how you could become osteoporotic, even if you were taking calcium supplements. Maybe your vitamin D level is so low, we can't absorb it. So very interesting how this interplay. Many of the functions of these vitamin minerals were discovered by the fact that there are often deficiency diseases. And that was the first sign that we saw, was someone struggling with health issues. Think beriberi, pellagra, scurvy, etc. Okay, they have names. They are real. Again, in the United States, and this is one of the wonderful things, I know I knock food processing and food adulteration, if you will, a lot, but enrichment and fortification are really great processes. And although they bleached, they beat up, they heated, they processed a lot of the vitamins and minerals out of certain foodstuffs, the FDA, in concert with the food producers, did put a lot of that stuff back in, at least vitamins and minerals. And we have a lot less nutritional deficiency syndromes, which is great news. Again, you do not see on a New York City street or, scurvy, pellagra, etc., which is good news. So deficiency diseases are associated with a lack of a particular micronutrient. Right? So the symptoms of diseases or conditions are usually reversed. And that's a great point. They can be treated. They can be reversed and made healthy by addition of the missing vitamin or mineral back in the diet. So let's look at some of the majors. Vitamin C, the nutritional deficiency disease, is scurvy. Okay. Now, once again, what I'm delineating here with nutritional deficiency disease, it's not infectious. You don't catch scurvy. Okay, it's not the flu. It's not viral. It's not bacterial. This is not having enough vitamin C. So decreased ability to maintain collagen and therefore blood vessel integrity. What are the outward signs of scurvy? Bleeding, gums, teeth falling out, petechial and even larger hemorrhaging. And I'll tell you, if you slap somebody and the next day or two they've got a big bruise on their arm, you have to think maybe their vitamin C integrity is not. They could also be in a blood thinner, another story, chemical alteration, but it's something to think about. Vitamin D, rickets. Now the interesting part is rickets in children, weakened bones in children due to decreased calcium and phosphorus absorption during development. What would be the disease of vitamin D deficiency in an adult? Would be a test question. Anybody? What I heard a murmur. Anybody? Edie knows. No. It is osteomalacia. Okay, not porosis, not porous bone, but a weak, friable, crackable bone. And curiously enough, the most common fracture from osteomalacia, not osteoporosis, is a kneecap, the patella, from falling straight like on a stair or whatever, and the kneecap just cracks, okay? Because the bone is very soft. Iron, if you're Popeye, could lead to anemia because we have decreased oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. And then finally, iodine, which we didn't cover these two. We didn't talk about minerals yet, so do not feel guilty if you didn't know that. Iron is the most common nutritional deficiency in the world and in the U.S., and it leads to iron-poor blood. If any of you are old enough or have seen, God help you, Lawrence Welk show, an old band conductor and a one and a two, he would sell a product, Geritol. And what was it? It wasn't snake oil or anything. It was a tonic. It was, this is in the 50s and 60s, that would boost, even into the 70s, iron content in the blood. It was an iron supplement. And it would treat anemia. So, good idea. Yeah, the right idea. Iodine, we haven't talked about, could lead to a goiter, an enlargement of thyroid gland. And why does your neck look like full frog with iodine deficiency? Because the thyroid gland is attempting to put out normal levels of thyroxine, of the hormone, and it doesn't have the building blocks. The base molecule is iodine. So what it does is it goes crazy, and like a factory trying to make more, it expands, it grows, and it gets you a very big neck. And that is a goiter. All right, good. And then we go into the problem. All right, I'll leave you to read the rest of that. Let us do our review, and we'll call it a day. All right. So again, get out your crayons. Here she comes. We get some more light on this. light on the subject. All right, so this is again chapters 7 through 12, and they will go in order. All right, this 7 starts off with cellular respiration and metabolism. So, what does the term anaerobic mean? So, if we have aerobics, this is anaerobic. What process do amino acids and proteins have to undergo to make their nutrient molecule available for energy? They have to go through a process to make them able to be fed into the mitochondria. What process, chemical process, do they have to undergo? Oh, I see. Okay. What is the name of the process in which, we're coming off humans for once, plants have the ability to produce energy from the sun? Elementary bio question. What do we call the sum of all homeostatic processes in your body? There's a name for that.
Professor, could you repeat the question?
Sure. What do we call the sum of all homeostatic processes in the body? It's a basic biologic principle. At a cellular
Did you say sun or sum?
Sum, S-U-M.
Okay.
Not N. What organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell? What organ is the primary site of alcohol metabolism? Why does fat molecules yield the most energy? It's a bit generic question, but a good one. What is the molecule that is formed when a person begins exercising and the exercise converts to anaerobic activity? So they have a certain byproduct with anaerobics.
So this one was, what
What's
is the
byproduct
molecule that is formed after exercise?
After exercise, but particularly anaerobic.
Okay. Can you repeat that, Professor? I'm sorry.
Sure. What particular molecule is formed when a person performs anaerobic activity? When health experts say that alcohol can be consumed in moderation, how much is in moderation?
So the question you're basically saying is, what is a moderate amount of alcohol?
Yes.
Okay.
Moderate consumption.
Okay. Thank you.
Easy. It's okay, baby.
What do all proteins break down into?
Amino acids?
Could be.
Easy. Easy.
What is central obesity, and how do we measure it?
Hi, Angel. Love you.
By the way, did anybody see John Wick 4? Saw it over the last weekend. There's a funny part where he's in Berlin, and he has to fight a very large German individual. I found out later is actually a extreme martial artist, but he was in a fat suit. And I see the guy doing these incredible moves. I said, "Oh, come on!" And of course, he was in that, like the whale.
Have you seen all of them, or just the fourth one?
I saw all of them. Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah, I wanted to see them, but
yeah, the first one.
I know I'm seeing Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that's it. They got 10 of those.
Yeah, I've watched all of them with my dad. Yeah. It's a tradition.
It's good. You need those. What is an appropriate body fat percentage for an individual 20 to 40 years of age?
You said body measurement, right?
Body fat percentage.
Professor,
how do you determine
I'm sorry, for an individual 20 to 45 years of age?
20 to 40.
Thank you.
How is body mass index, BMI, determined? There is a formula. By percentage, what is the smallest percentage of aberrant BMIs? In other words, is it healthy weight, overweight, underweight, obese, or morbidly obese?
Wait, so you said what is the smallest percentage of the bad BMIs? Is that what you mean? Underweight, overweight?
Yeah, just really what's the smallest percentage of any of those, including the good.
Okay, so you're looking for which group has the smallest percentage, right?
Well said. Yes, exactly. And that was that pie cut chart. I think you might remember it. What is the TEF, thermic effect of food, and what percentage is it? What is a bomb calorimeter, and what does it measure? Lab and lecture.
Can you repeat that one?
Sure. What is a bomb, B-O-M-B, calorimeter? What is thermogenesis? Which energy-yielding nutrient, protein, carbs, or fats, is the most satiating, most fulfilling, and satisfying?
Would it be carbs?
Could be, but no.
Oh, darn.
What is the difference between appetite, hunger, and satiety?
Between hunger and what else?
Hunger, appetite, and satiety.
Thank you.
Sure. What is another term for clinically severe obesity? According to the BMI scale, what is underweight considered? For overweight adults, a reasonable weight loss is how much per week?
Isn't it like 1 to 2 pounds a week?
It's in that range. Yep. What is leptin and where does it work? Leptin. What percentage of the U.S. adult population is overweight or obese? And rising. What is the definition of the set point? Set point. All right, and then we're into chapter 11, and we're on the vitamins. What is the deficiency of a riboflavin called? What is atrophic gastritis? Oh my God, these are tough words. ATROPHIC, gastritis, GASTRIITIS. What are B vitamins' major job? What disease would you get if you have a prolonged thiamine, vitamin B1 deficiency?
Sorry, Professor, have you had a prolonged, what, thiamine?
Thiamine.
Thanks.
Or vitamin B1 deficiency. What are the fat-soluble vitamins?
What are the fat what?
Soluble, the ones that are miscible, fixable in fat.
So, Professor, going back to vitamin B1 proficiency or deficiency?
Deficiency.
Thank you. Sorry.
If an adult is vitamin D deficient, what disease might they have? If a child has beaded ribs, bumps on their ribs, what disease might they have? Also known as rickety rosary, like rosary beads. What vitamin is routinely injected into newborn babies in the hospital? Naturally, what's the best way to add antioxidants to your diet? What is vitamin D's specific role in bone health? What is vitamin E's primary job? What vitamin did researchers recognize first? This goes back to Casimir Funk, 1913, Polish biochemist. For you history fans. What carotenoid, notice I said carotenoid, has the highest vitamin A activity? In other words, what precursor could convert to the most vitamin A? What is the major action of vitamin K? Your body can synthesize vitamin D, which might make it a non-essential nutrient. But what is the base compound that it uses to make vitamin D?
Professor, I'm sorry. The one after what vitamin did scientists recognize first? You said what precursor? And you highlighted
right. What
carotenoid.
precursor will give you the highest amount of vitamin A activity?
Oh, okay. Thanks. Vitamin A activity. Thank you.
By order of concentration after calcium, what is the second most abundant mineral in your body? Might surprise you. Salts, all different kinds, that dissociate and are broken down in water and are ionized, what do they become? What are they called? And then we're on to chapter 12 and water. Water is what percentage of our bodies? What does DEXA, D-E-X-A, measure? What does bicarbonate, bicarb, do in your body? We are almost there, folks. Hang on. And then a little bit on water compartments. What do we call water that is found outside of the cell? Where is, or where would we find 99% of your body's calcium in your body? What structures?
I'm sorry, Professor. Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. Where would we find 99% of the calcium in your body?
Thank you. Which structures? Thank you.
In what compartment would we find intracellular fluid? And then finally, what is ADH? I can't say it. ADH. And that's it. That's the whole banana. Any questions?
I have one question.
Yes, Vincent.
Thank you. Can you repeat number 48? In what compartment? Yeah. I think it's 48. That's how it is on
around that time, I'll see. Yes. Where is intracellular fluid found?
Thank you.
You got it. Guys, we all set? Don't forget to visit Edie's